Welcome to another edition of Celebrity Encounters, where celebrities talk about meeting other celebrities. And today we have one of my favorite guests. I'm taking over the hosting job with my co-host who just promoted me because he's here until I find a permanent co-host. So if you're interested, send me a note, send me an email, or tweet me, or
almost anything is better than me.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say it, but I do love you, Harlow. And today we have one of our favorite guests, MJ Bulanti.
Woohoo!
Yes, for those
Hello,
of you
Gerry.
that didn't see our previous episode, he was a comedian for many, many years, performed at over 10,000 comedy clubs.
10,000
10,000
10,000 performances.
performances.
Yeah, there's only like 12 clubs.
Yes, yes. He was a regular there. He performed when nobody was in the club, just to get the number up there.
That's right.
That's how you get 10,000.
That's right. I did the same thing in my show. He is also a stage actor, a screenwriter, and now is officially retired but unretired. And he is an artist, an acrylic painting artist. And is that one of your pieces right behind you?
Yes, it is. That's one of them right there.
What do you call it?
I call it Good Morning, Jerry.
Did you just make that up? You should call that piece
No, I knew I
Lack
was
of
going to
Red.
meet you.
I see you spend a lot of money on different color paints, don't you? Your palette must really be full.
Yeah, I do. But this one only has, this is a two-tuber right there. That's a blue and a black.
You know, a two-tuber.
I was
I'm not
gonna
even
say
going to touch
something.
that.
I was like, wow, okay.
I'm going to let that one go.
Yeah, I was going to wait and see where you were going to go with this one because I
I don't
wasn't
know
going
who's
to touch
watching.
it. You're welcome.
Oh, my God. So you do your paintings. For those of you watching, if you would like to see his brilliant artwork, just find him on Instagram at Artist Bulanti. That's your handle or tag or whatever they call it on Instagram. I don't even know. And that's spelled Bulanti. A lot of interesting work. Pencil sketches, paintings, drawings, everything. But that's not why we're here. This is not artistic encounters. This is celebrity encounters. And you and I did comedy clubs for a while. We never did them together. But you must have opened for some real interesting celebrities. So we could probably do 20 podcasts with you alone. One of my favorites, I looked over the list. Oh my God, you've opened, where's the list for George Lopez and Ellen DeGeneres and Sam Kinison and Willie Nelson. And,
Ellen DeGeneres, that was my first week as a professional comedian at the Punchline in San Francisco.
Wow.
And Ellen was headlining. And it was right before she got her big Tonight Show break.
remember
Where
those
she did
days?
the conversation with God.
Remember those days when you would go on the Tonight Show and your career just changed overnight?
And that's exactly what happened to her. And she was great. She really was. I also worked with, Sam. I did Sam Kenneth. I did the last show that Sam Kennison did. It was in Concord, California. And he died, I think, a week later.
Wow.
Wow. Well, that's
And
interesting.
when he met you, did he walk up and, oh, MJ?
No, his people were worried about people grabbing at him and stuff. So he was well protected when he really didn't need to be.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but he was a nice guy. I got an autograph headshot from him.
Nice.
Well, the one that I want to talk about is one of my favorite comedians of all time, Robin Williams.
Wait, what?
Yes, Mort
Yeah.
from Ork. Nanu. Oh wait, is that Spock? Is that I don't know who does that.
I do that.
Yeah, that was it. Nanu.
Alan corrects me all the time because I have the wrong references frequently. so
Nanu is his. Did you open for him before or after Mork?
Well, it would be before. And no, it was after Mork, definitely, because Mork happened in the 70s, and I didn't start performing stand-up until 84. So he was but when I was starting to come in, he was established. He truly was. And in San Francisco, you would see him at different things. Definitely Comedy Day. We have this big festival every summer. It's called Comedy Day. It was in Golden Gate Park, and Robin was always closed that show. And I did a benefit with him at Frost Amphitheater at Stanford campus. I did that one time with him, and you would meet him and you would say hello, and you'd say, can we take a picture? And you'd take a picture with him. But you didn't really, it wasn't like, what am I going to say to Robin Williams, you know? Well, he was such a huge star that most of us kind of loved being around him, but we knew that you couldn't get too close. Some people did, but I certainly did not.
You
And
couldn't get
the
too
story-
close because he had security, or you couldn't get too close, meaning emotionally?
Yeah, just emotionally. It wasn't that he was more available to us when it was just us. When he was in a green room with all comedians, he was great. He was loose and he was happy and everything else. But as soon as it seemed like the public was involved, he kind of pulled back, you know? And
Well, he
it's
was
Robin
known-
Williams, so you really don't know what to say.
He was known back
And-
then because my dad lived up in Marin near where he actually lived. And Robin was very well known in the community as being somewhat shy, like as outgoing as he was. And certainly when he brought it. But he wasn't standoffish, is what I heard. It's just he was more a humble, quiet person, you know.
Exactly. No, he was the nicest guy in the world,
Yeah.
but not trying to be funny all the time, unless it was all comedians.
Right.
So he wasn't always on.
No, he wasn't always on.
Well, that's
For
good.
sure.
Then you got to meet the person.
And now there's a theater in that neighborhood called the Throckmorton Theater, and they've been doing a Wednesday night comedy showcase for probably the last 30 years. And Robin was known to regularly show up at that place unannounced and get up. And he would come into the green room and say, no, I'm not going to do a set. I'm not going to go on. I want to go. And inevitably, every time he did, he got up and closed the show. And I was saying stuff like, don't go on before me, please, Robin, you know. But I didn't really have an opportunity until where this story really begins with me, was I was doing the Rat Pack is Back. I got hired to do the show in San Francisco, and we're doing 8 shows a week. And my girlfriend comes up after to see a matinee with her friends. And now we're having lunch after the matinee. I got to do a second show. And at this lunch was the woman who feeds Coco the gorilla. Coco the gorilla was the gorilla that could use American Sign Language and communicate.
Okay.
And they kept her in right
comedy
off
club?
Highway 280 on Sand Hill Road exit. Are you familiar with Coco the gorilla?
No, but I'm waiting for the tie-in to Robin, because I know Robin was very hairy, but I don't know where you're going with this.
You gave away my punchline.
Oh no! I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Go ahead, continue.
No, but it was Robin's punchline. But let me tell you what happened. So this woman mentions that Robin, and then she says, when it's time for Coco to pick out a movie to watch, she always picks a Robin Williams film.
Oh.
And I said, well, Robin was in a documentary about her. You could see footage of Robin hanging out with Coco the gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, gee whiz, now I got something to talk to Robin about next time I see him, right? So that very night, they're having a memorial for Warren Thomas, a great local comic who died in New York tragically. And we're having a memorial service, and I happened to show up there, and this is the same day, mind you, and Robin comes walking in. So now I'm thinking, I got something I can talk to Robin about. So
At a
I see him go
memorial
down the hallway.
service.
I go down the hallway, and I said to him exactly that. I said, Robin, I ate lunch today with somebody who feeds Coco the gorilla, and she said, Coco likes you the best. Out of all the actors, you're her favorite. And
Here it
Robin
comes.
says, you know why? And I said, why? And he goes, because I'm so hairy.
Ah. Oh my Lord. So timing is everything in your career for you to bring up that at a memorial service, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a sad evening, but for me, I finally got to relate to Robin differently than just saying, hello, how are you? Every time you would meet Robin, you would say, hi, Mickey Joseph. And he would say, hi, Mickey, how are you? And you would think that he would never remember your name. But about a couple of years after that, in the green room at the Throckmorton Theater, Dick Gregory is there, sitting on the couch with Mort Saul and Robin Williams. And when I came in, I said, hi, Robin. And he looked up and he said, hi, Mickey.
Ooh.
I almost pooped my pants. I mean, I was blown away. that
So
this
did
guy
Coco.
Finally called me by name. And so I got right in the huddle with these guys, and I was feeding Robin
Bananas.
lines, and he was riffing with Mort
Wrong
Saul
gorilla.
and Dick Gregory, and a room full of comics. And I was saying stuff like, Walter Brennan in The Godfather, and Robin would immediately go, he immediately do something like, can we work this out? I forget what the line was, but anyway, he would riff, man. And then he would take everything that he riffed in the green room and he would take it on stage.
So
do it again
that reminds me of something. So I did comedy clubs for years, just as you did, but I was the Mentalist. So I was like the variety act between the comedians. I never did full stand-up comedy like you did. So all of my writing was based around the Mentalist. But I used to hear comedians from time to time complain about Robin stealing material.
Oh.
Yes. Is there any truth to that?
I would think that if that was true, he was doing it subconsciously. He wasn't. He had a sponge for a brain that took everything in, and I didn't. If you watch him perform, you think he's out of control.
Yes.
And I would think that's what's going on, is that he would suck something in and spit it out. But if Stephen Pearl happened, and this is a story I heard, I never confirmed this with Stephen, although he lives in Las Vegas. Stephen approached Robin and said, "You took one of my bits," and Robin immediately wrote him a check.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's interesting.
So he was good for it. He didn't want to make any enemies. But I think he got that reputation because, and maybe some people misunderstood, because when he was in the green room riffing, you might have been part of that riff. And then he gets on stage and does it. But I'm not going to go, "Oh, wow, I gave him that," or I that was my thought. And that's what,
Well,
I just think he was so brilliant, he could not control it.
On that same thing about talking about control, when he did Mork and Mindy, is in the very beginning, the writers would write head to toe everything that was in there, and then they got to a point where it would say in the script, Robin does his thing. Because
right?
he could never stay on script, because something new would be just hitting him.
Right.
And so they would do a scene 4, 5, 6 different times. And then, Mindy would say, "Robin, we can't do that here." And then all of a sudden new material would just come ripping out of him over and over again.
So I guess the same way that I stole your hairy punchline, right? So we've never discussed this story before. We didn't talk about it. I don't have it in my notes, but it's like a creative process.
Sure.
So the way that he had the process of coming up with the punchline, I did as well. So maybe Robin did that. Maybe he took jokes in the dressing room or hanging out with guys, and at the right moment, that's what hit his head, and he said it. And then, of course, somebody would go,
"Yeah, and
he
if
stole my
you
material."
happen to get upset about it and call him on it, he was happy to cover.
Right.
He was a good guy, and he had plenty of dough, and he treated people right. And that Throckmorton Theater, that was really horrible when he died. They had a huge memorial there for him, several of them, I think. And it was quite a tragic event, Robin passing, and actually that night was the last time I saw him. And I talked to Edwin DeShazo, who was the sound guy there, and he said the last time he saw Robin that he walked away into the darkness outside the theater, and he looked back, and all of a sudden he was gone very quickly.
That'd be the end of
I
a
actually
great
wrote a
Robin Williams
screenplay.
movie.
Yeah.
I wrote a screenplay about the Robin Williams Tunnel. They named the tunnel, the north side of the Golden Gate Bridge, the Robin Williams Tunnel.
And what is
And
the screenplay
a psychic
about?
told me that every time she drives through the tunnel, that Robin's spirit jumps into her car and talks crazy stuff until the end of the tunnel, and then jumps out as she drives into the city.
And for $100, she'll tell you everything he said.
How did you know that?
He's working with the Mentalist. It rubs
I'm
off.
telling you, man.
It rubs off. Well, I am glad
in
that
my
you.
story, that's exactly what happens. This band of gypsies find out about that somebody believes that Robin is in the tunnel, so they get a guy to hide in the trunk with a microphone. You can ask one.
That sounds like something I would do.
One question for $100 when you drive through the tunnel, and the actor in the trunk. It's a scam, but he's answering the question.
Oh my God.
And were these Italian gypsies with someone in the trunk?
They are Roma gypsies. That's right. They came from after the Watts riots. I don't know if you're aware of this history, but the gypsies that lived there moved to Richmond, California, which is just north of the Bay Bridge or the Golden Gate Bridge.
Do either of you know what nationality Robin was?
Oh, I do not.
I don't.
What would you guess?
My guess?
Yeah.
I would. He was. His
Is
dad
Williams
was a real
his real last
corporate
name?
guy.
I don't know that.
I don't know what his real
Is
last name
Is Williams his real last name?
I believe so. Yeah.
So that would be British or something.
I don't know. Who was Robin's roommate?
Christopher Reeve.
Correct.
Wait,
Superman.
what?
Superman.
Superman was his roommate?
Yep. Superman and Super Chatterbox. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. When they were at Juilliard in New York.
Wow.
Do you like that school?
So Juilliard or
Yeah. It's a Jew reference.
yeah? Oh,
I am 5%, so I can make the jokes.
okay.
I
5%
didn't
Jewish,
get that.
100% Jewish.
Yes,
But your
when
delivery
Krista,
was great. I didn't get the joke, but your delivery was really good.
try the veal. I'm here all week. When Christopher Reeve was going through his whole thing with the wheelchair and the accident, Robin was there all the time with him.
I'll be darned.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So you give him props for that. But some people are totally wrong. And you want to know who is really wrong about Robin Williams? His high school classmates. Do you know that they voted Robin Williams least likely to succeed?
Wait, least
Yeah.
likely to succeed?
His high school classmates voted him as least likely to succeed.
I can only imagine what he must have been like in high school. Like just a chatterbox, couldn't sit still, that kind of thing.
Well, I don't know. You know, he said that when he wasn't on, he wasn't on.
Oh, good point.
So maybe not, and he was shy. You know?
Yeah, I think there's a documentary about Robin as well. Really good one. You could watch that.
But then again, I'm reading my notes here, and it says he also was voted as funniest student.
But
So
most
maybe he
likely-
was a class clown, but they go, this is not how you're going to make a living. This will never work.
Oh my God, you're not that
He was,
funny.
he was a little,
You're humorous, but you're not that funny.
And comics don't
he was
make
a
any
little bit
money.
before his own time.
Yes. Oh my God. Do you remember Robin actually, before he did Mork from Ork, he appeared on Happy Days.
Oh my God, that's right. That's where that alien character started,
Yeah,
right?
Yep.
Yeah,
And
it's a
everybody
spin-off.
thinks when Fonzie was on the bike, the show jumped the shark. I think when they let an alien on the show, that was the beginning of the
Wow.
jumping of the shark. That was them getting in the boat to jump the shark.
Yeah.
Robin is great, but he didn't fit in that environment.
No. Oh God, I had totally forgotten that.
Oh yeah.
Yes, but
Yeah.
look at he had the last laugh. He showed them all.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, he
Very funny man. I'm telling you. I was in awe. Everybody was.
yeah, he
Everybody
was-
knew that he was the greatest. When you knew it when you were watching it, and we got to see him quite frequently if you lived in the Bay Area and you were a comedian. That's for sure.
There are some people who are the greatest at what they do. Robin was definitely one of the top comedians.
Oh, easily.
You know, you look at Eddie Van Halen, you go, he's one of the top, guitarists and everything. But Robin was on the top. And on that note, we're going to leave you with really good vibrations about Robin, even though it's a mental thing. Vibrations. It has been a pleasure to talk to you, my friend. I always have fun talking with you and looking at your art behind you. And it's a different picture than it was last time. So I guess our publicity sold that last picture for him for
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
hundreds of millions. No, actually, I heard a Jewish person bought it. So they bought it for $398.
Oh, okay.
Because his prices are $400 And they had to bring him down a little. And on that note, I'm Gerry McCambridge.
I'm Harlan Friedman.
I'm still looking for a permanent co-host. And see you on the next Celebrity Encounters.
Thanks for tuning in today, and if you enjoyed our show, please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast on all your favorite platforms. We'll see you next week with the next episode of Celebrity Encounter Podcast.